Good morning. Everybody, good morning. Welcome. My name is Tom Lattig. I'm with American Airlines. I am our head of sales for EMEA, based in London. And I have the pleasure to welcome you all here today. We've got a few presentations to talk to you a little bit about American Airlines, more specifically about our service to Prague that starts on May the 4th. Not soon enough, I know, but we'll be here before you know it. We've also got some short presentations from the airport, from Ambassador King of the U.S. Embassy, as well as Monika from the Czech Tourism Board. So with that said, let me kick things off. I'm going to first take the opportunity to the folks that are here from American Airlines, so hopefully you all have the opportunity after the presentations to talk to my team and the folks here from American Airlines. So real quick, Roberto Antonucci up here in the front. Roberto is our director for Europe. He's based in Rome. He looks after all of Europe except for the UK and Spain. On his team, Christian Lizana here in the back. He's a regional manager that looks over Central and Eastern Europe. He's based in Frankfurt. He's got Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, and the Czech Republic. So we're the three sales guys in the room. Our job is to make sure we're working with the trade here in the Czech Republic and finding all sorts of passengers to fly to the U.S. on our new service. And we've got a whole bunch of people back in the U.S. who are doing the same thing there, trying to get a lot of Americans here to Prague. And I'll be the first to tell you, this is not my first visit to Prague. I was here about a month ago with my family. Spent a couple days walking around the city. It's a beautiful city. I know you all know that, but Americans are going to love it. They come here already, but now they're going to have another option on American Airlines. And hopefully you're going to see lots of American tourists here. And we will see lots of Czech tourists and business people back in the U.S. Before I get started with my presentation, I've told a few people this, but I keep waiting for people to come up to me and say, "Hey, Tim," because I've got an identical twin brother. His name is Tim. My name's Tom, Tim and Tom. And he used to live here in Prague back in the mid-'90s. It was like 93, 94. He was stationed at the U.S. Embassy, as a matter of fact. I'm trying to figure out why nobody has come up to me and said, "Hey, Tim," yet. But he was in the consular section back then. So if any of you were trying to get visas to go to the U.S., he was a mean guy. I'm the nice guy. So, but anyway, it's good. It feels a little bit like home for me because my brother lived here for 2 years, and he told me so many times how great Prague was, especially the good beer, which I like. I live in London now, and I prefer the beer in the Czech Republic to London, which is warm and not as cold. Leave it at that. All right. I've got a few slides. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about American Airlines. I'll then turn it over to Roberto. Roberto will tell you a little more about the actual service that we're starting and American Airlines in Europe. And we'll try to make this quick because I think the best thing is we'll get to questions and answers after this and one-on-one lunch reception sort of thing. All right, let me start out by telling you a little bit about American Airlines. Number one, we are the largest airline in the world. And I only say that because being the biggest is not necessarily the best, but what it means for people who are traveling is you can get to almost anywhere in the world on American Airlines. And when things go wrong, as they invariably do, whether you have weather or snow, which is forecast for London this weekend, which is where I live. I'm not looking forward to that. It causes problems, but because we've got a lot of resources, we can usually handle problems a lot better and get people to where they go. So we've got 6,700 flights per day. And I was doing a calculation this morning. That is every 10 seconds, we've got a plane that's taken off somewhere in the world. 350 destinations in more than 50 countries. And we've got 120,000 employees that work at American Airlines looking after everybody when they're traveling. 1,500 aircraft, half of which have been replaced with brand new aircraft over the last 5 years. So we have the youngest fleet of the big airlines in the world. We're really excited about that, because what that means is you got a really nice product to fly on. You've got new aircraft, and it's a lot more reliable. Because planes go through a lot of maintenance every day. You know, we take a real close look at every plane we've got to make sure it's ready to fly. 9 big hub airports in the U.S., and this is how we connect passengers all over the world. The one that we're going to talk about today is Philadelphia, a big hub for us on the East Coast to a fantastic city. We don't have cities as old as Prague and Budapest and some of these other older cities in Europe, but we do have Philadelphia, which is probably the most historic city in the United States. It is the birthplace of the United States, that a lot of people will come visit Philadelphia just for the city in itself, but it's also a great place to connect to other places in the United States, the Caribbean, South America, everywhere we fly. And last but not least, we are one of the founding members of the One World Alliance, one of the 3 big global alliances. And what that means for travelers is you've got a lot of connecting opportunities when you want to go someplace that American doesn't fly, because we didn't fly to Prague until May 4th this year. You could still get there on the One World Alliance. And we have lots of great airlines that are part of that alliance. All right, 2017 was a great year for American Airlines. We did a merger back in 2013 with U.S. Airways, and we did a great job getting through that merger, and we've had a string of good, successful years. 2017 was a great one. We carried over passengers last year. To give everybody a sense of what that means, that's 60% of the U.S. population flew on American Airlines, if you're talking about pure numbers. We had the best on-time performance in our history, and that's when you got an airline as big as us with as a lot of hubs as we do. We're really proud of the fact that our operation is very reliable, and we look to continue to make it better. Shame on me, because we've got some of our airport folks here in the room. And let me introduce them real quick. We've got Richard, who looks after our airports in Europe. He's a man of, I don't even know where his home is anymore, because he's in Canada, but he looks after Canada and our airports in Europe. We've got Betty Wiley right next to him. She's with corporate real estate. She works with the airport folks here to make sure we have all the facilities that we need. And we got Martina Valuslova, who is just joining. She's she's moving over from Dallas, but she's Czech, and she's going to be looking after our airport operations here in Prague. And I think last but not least, but we've certainly got Richard, another sales guy. Richard looks after cargo for us. So. We've got a lot. Not only do we fly passengers, we fly cargo, and there's a lot of good cargo opportunities for us. So Richard is going to be doing that. All right, back to 2017. Great year. A lot of passengers we carried. Better operation that we're running. It was a profitable year for us. A string of 4 or 5 profitable years. And what that means for us is we have money to invest in our business and our company. And we are certainly doing that. We're investing for the long term, long after I'm gone. And we aim to be around forever. If you ask our CEO, he's a big picture guy, and I think he was maybe a little misquoted, but he said we're never going to have a losing year again. So we are certainly investing for the long term and expect to have a lot of investments in our company. We're in the midst of a $3 billion investment program right now. This is on top of about $20 billion we've invested over the last 4 years in new aircraft. But what we're doing with this $3 billion is we're investing in a lot of different products for our customers. We've got fully lie-flat seats in our premium cabins. which is great for our business customers and customers who like a certainly in one direction across the ocean, it's dark. People like to sleep on those flights. I certainly do. I travel back and forth. Also, if you're traveling the other way during the day, it's nice to get a nap. So we've got fully lie-flat seats. We've got Wi-Fi on board, and so our new aircraft that will be operating to Prague, customers will be able to use Wi-Fi. If you're a business person and like to be connected and do email and things like that, you can do it. But we also have entertainment libraries that's accessible via Wi-Fi, so you've got a full library of movies and music. We've got new lounges on the ground, so for passengers when they arrive at an airport, we're investing in a premium experience on the lounge side. Here in Prague, we're going to have a lounge offering for customers as well. And I hope to have the opportunity to visit that on my way out of here. Also, we've partnered with a company called Casper for what we call sleep products. So pajamas, bedding for those customers who like to get a good night's sleep on the transatlantic flights. We've got some really nice new soft products on board. I mentioned a little bit about airports and lounges, so I'm just going to show a few pictures here, but we're investing in what we call flagship lounges, and we've done this in Dallas and Los Angeles, in JFK. We're doing it in Philly. We'll do it in London. But one of the aspects of our flagship lounges will be first-class dining. So in those markets where we offer first class, customers will be able to have a classy dining option with local menus, freshly prepared, really nice. In fact, I hear this all the time, and I'm a fan of hamburgers, but apparently the hamburger that we for first class dining in JFK is like one of the best hamburgers in the world. So hopefully some of you will get to experience that at some point. But a lot of investment in our product for customers. And last but not least, before I turn it over to Roberto, a little bit about Philadelphia. I mentioned it's a historical city in the U.S. It's a great city, and we hope that a lot of Czechs will get to go visit and see the city. It's also for us a fantastic hub. We've got service to over 100 cities out of Philadelphia. So for passengers who want to go see other cities in the U.S. or go down to the Caribbean or Canada, Philadelphia is a great place to do it. It's a smaller airport than JFK. It's really easy to get around. Aircraft don't take as long to get to the gate. You can get through immigrations and customs a lot faster, and you can make a connection a lot faster. We also have a state-of-the-art cargo facility, which we're really proud of. In Philadelphia, it's temperature controlled, really important for pharmaceutical products. In fact, there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies that are around Philadelphia, which is why we've got this great facility there. So I know Richard's looking after cargo opportunities for us, but we think we've got a lot to offer at Philadelphia. So let me turn it over to Roberto real quick. He'll give you a little more information about the flight to Prague and our service to Europe.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone. I guess has been introduced already by Tom. Thank you, Tom. And you've been introduced also my colleague, which had direct contact with, which is Christian, which together we are trying to do the best we can in opening the new route. And opening new route is a lot of input, a lot of things here to do. And of course, operation guys can tell you how many effort, how many months before. Of course, now we are in March, and the opening will be May. But since 3 months already, we're heavily working on the ground to make sure that this flight will be a success. To do that, from our side, we have to make sure that we have the right component, commercial component on the ground. So with Christian and his team, we have a lot of contact with the local agency tour operator. So to make sure that we have a good kickoff. Today I'm really pleased to be here to introduce the new route. I mean, a few years back we couldn't think about to operate so many countries. If we go back, we started in the 80s with our first flight in May 80s, which was from our headquarters, Dallas, to London. We saw the first flight. Today, we are pleased to say that we can already go to the, today we can say that we had a lot of ground, because now we have 166 flights to 21 countries this summer. And we are very pleased that Prague will be part of our network in 2018, along with Budapest and Reykjavik. So, why Philadelphia? You can see from this map. It's very impressive, isn't it? Of course, you can go into the detail, but we can send you the presentation so you can go city by city and look into it. But we cover almost 120 destinations. The majority are, of course, US. And when we talk about US, we talk about small cities that you didn't think about you can cover, like big city, like in the West Coast, like in Florida, like in the Midwest. It's just fantastic network. And this is our greatest hub on the Northeast with 120 destinations. From here, you can go not only within the US, but you can go to the Mexico, Canada, Caribbean. So actually, all the places you're dreaming of, where you want to go and visit, are here. And the good thing is that Philadelphia is very easy to connect through. I remember last time I went to Philadelphia, which was months and a half ago. I have the record going through the immigration in 15 minutes. I mean, I was shocked, really. It never happened to me before, used with other airports. So just to say, it's a nice airport. There are some new terminal, a lot of good shopping, a lot of good facilities there. So really, it's great for connection. Now, if you stop, of course, in Philadelphia, and Tom already said about that, this is the city to go for shopping, superior art, because there are some museums which are, I mean, I went through it. I didn't know that we have such beautiful, important museum in Philadelphia. I mean, I was really surprised. And last but not least is where the story of America, United States of America, started with. I mean, the Constitution started from there. So it's the famous bell that everybody wants to go and to see is the one which just restarted up with everything in the States. I mean, it's a lot of history. And of course, a lot of historical building and so on. So, I mean, this is the right spot where we want to go. A little bit about our product, okay. We're gonna be operating 737-300 aircraft Boeing. The configuration we'll offer per business class will be 28 seats, and the seat will be all, business class seat will be all lay flat with aisle access, and with the bedding Casper brand, American brand, we just introduced it, which will give a feeling, a very, very comfortable feeling, okay? In addition, you have some prominent chef that will provide some great menus for you. Pitch, extra pitch, which is very comfortable. In addition, since the flight may be hours to 9 hours, we think about the people there, and we are equipping all our 767 with Wi-Fi. So that's very good news because you can be covered. And this fantastic experience. The feedback we received are very, very good. So this is something to be noted. What to mention anyway, the power of 4. We start with the power of 3. So now we have 15 minutes, it's better. Together, American, British, and Finnair can offer 240 destinations, which is really remarkable. The airline from Europe can go up to 115 flights a day. So, in addition to your direct service, you don't even have direct stays. And when I say Philadelphia, I say many other destinations. You can also go via London, Madrid, or Helsinki to connect one of our service or our partner service, which is so. We are very pleased with this alliance because it's seamless, easy to travel with, and especially with one ticket, as you know, and you can be home in any of these countries you can feel it. So this ends our presentation, but let me add a couple of things more. First of all, as Tom said, there's a lot of good news on American Airlines, the largest carrier in the world, and we invested a lot of money, because not only we want to be the largest passenger revenue, which are very important, we want to be also the best. Of course, being the best is a long process because we have to do a lot of investment. When you think about 1,500 airplanes to handle, is really something big. And only to renew, and we are renewing 500 aircraft in the last 4 years. It's a lot. But we are getting there. As a matter of fact, we have been acknowledged by the publication airline ATW, Electric Transportation Board, as the airline of the year 2017 for many things, especially for the way we conduct our merger 2013 to the end, which was the last year. So a lot of the story, we are positioned to be clearly the top carrier. Very pleased to be today here and to do this third service, which will be very good for the economy of both countries and for us. So thank you very much for being with us today. And of course, we're looking forward to see you on our flight to Philadelphia. We have a lot of good fare in the market, so you can check out as you have safety always. So with this, I just end up my presentation, and I just turn over to Václav, which is the CEO of Prague. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Prague for those who hasn't been before in our beautiful city. I was listening very carefully to the presentation, and I've got my presentation too. It's got 22 pages, and I just crossed like 20 pages because you basically said almost everything. So when we look at the Prague airport, you probably see that it's growing, and it's been growing for the last 4 years quite dramatically. We expect that our 50 million, which we got last year, will grow to 70 million this year, and that's just because there is one big attraction, and that's Prague. Prague is it's a big magnet, and we are quite pleased that people around the world are kind of like noticing Prague, and it's on their list, wish list to travel over here. And we are quite happy. And the main reason for that is that when you look at the Prague airport, it's a destination-driven airport. Without Prague, we won't be able to grow. Which means that in our catchment area, all the people, it's like around 8 million people who are actually living over here, won't be able to travel anywhere. Because when you look at all those aircraft, it's usually 70% of the foreigners, visitors to Prague, and then 30–40% are Czechs traveling somewhere. So without the Prague airport would be empty, so we are quite pleased that we've got that destination. And finally, American Airlines found out that it's a good destination, so I'm very, very pleased that you decided and you are gonna fly over here. Even though it's only seasonal flight, which we of course like, but if you then can consider in the future to fly all year round, that would be definitely better. So I'll go through my presentation quite fast. As I said, I've already crossed almost everything. You already mentioned that you've got business there, which is 28 seats. We are quite pleased that you put those seats over there. I think it's quite important, not only for those who wants to travel overnight to Prague and enjoy your service, but of course there are a lot of companies, American companies in the Czech Republic. It's like 280 companies. They've invested over here, and more American companies are coming to the Czech Republic. Not only because of the Brexit, by the way, but of course the Czech Republic is one of those destinations right in the middle of Europe, and it's very interesting for investors. And whenever they are over here, they usually visit Prague, and I sit with them and we talk about mobility, quite important thing for the companies to base their headquarters here in Prague. And they are usually asking about the connections through the Europe. We are done. We've got a connection to all the capitals in Europe. Then they are asking about the Middle East. Okay, that's done. They can fly there, and we've got 4 flights, 5 flights a day. So that's basically done. And then they are asking if there any direct connection, which would be all year round, to the US. Not yet. So this is something which is still missing, and to be honest, you know, to attract those companies, we need it. We looked at the potential, which is right over here, and it's quite big. There's approximately 300 visitors, 300,000 visitors to Prague, flying to Prague, and it's still growing. It's still growing. But of course, we have to help you somehow, talk about it, to promote Prague, Czech Republic, in the US, and that's something what we will definitely. One very interesting thing what you mentioned is the connection. Philadelphia is a wonderful connection because you know, to get to be able to fly to more than 120 destinations, you know, within 5 hours connection in Philadelphia. This is a real advantage. As I mentioned, you know, the size of the market. There is one thing which I should mention, and that's when you look at who's been traveling so far, it basically does not reflect the number which I said at the beginning. The US is actually the number slightly different. It's usually around 60% Americans flying to Prague, and 40% are actually Czechs, basically, or originating from Prague, which means that, as you can see, the interest of the people living in our catchment area, not only Czech, but of course Americans over here from those companies, they want to fly to the US. So I think the market is growing, it's developing even in this respect. It might be a great potential for you in the future. Seasonality, I've already mentioned. You are right. I think, you know, if you wanna make that flight quite profitable, it's quite important to fly through the high season, because that's definitely biggest demand. But then we've got only 1 quarter where we can say it's kind of like a weak quarter, and that's the first quarter. Prague, it's not only beautiful during the spring and summer. You've been here, so you know. But even during the Christmas time, it's been ranked by one of the most beautiful Christmas markets in the world. People are traveling here for Christmas. So I think this is a great potential, and then I fully agree. The first quarter is a bit weak. And as I already mentioned, there is 260 American companies here in the Czech Republic, but on the other hand, I have to mention that there are already 35, that's what we found, 35 Czech companies investing in the US. So as you can see, it's not only about tourists, it's about even like a business which is between the United States and the Czech Republic. So I think this is as a first step, it's a great step. We really welcome your decision. We'll do our best to support you here at the Prague airport. We are going to talk about it in Philadelphia next week with my colleagues, so we'll definitely find the common programs, and hopefully we'll support you so that once we meet in 1 year or 2 years, you'll see this as a very profitable route. So thank you very much for coming, and if I may, I will now hand the floor to Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Dobrý den, dámy a pánové. And I'd like to thank Tom. I had to do that. Roberto and Václav for the invitation to be here and join you in this most interesting and exciting opportunity. I'm excited to be here, obviously, today on behalf of the United States government and the United States Embassy here in Prague to celebrate the launch of American Airlines non-stop service from Prague to Philadelphia. In addition to American Airlines Philadelphia, that is, being the largest transit center in the Northeast, Philadelphia is also known, as you probably know, as the city of brotherly love. I'd like to use that particular term, if I might, to characterize that as the relationship between the United States of America and the Czech Republic. We enjoy brotherly love. The U.S.-Czech relationship, as you well know, has been long-standing, and in fact, as I think all of you also know, this year the Czech Republic is celebrating its 100 years centennial as a nation. We, United States, are celebrating that centennial along with the Czech Republic by virtue of enjoying a 100-year relationship, a very good relationship, with the Czechs. It's particularly appropriate, therefore, I think, at this time that we celebrate the launch of a service that further strengthens the economy between the two countries. As ambassador, probably my top priority, being a business person and not necessarily a professional diplomat. My legacy here during my several years here now will be, I hope, building on the economic relationship between the two countries. It's something to celebrate because in the last 25 years we've witnessed a remarkable transformation in the Czech economy. The Czech Republic now has one of the fastest growing economies in Europe. It has the lowest unemployment of any country in Europe. This is a promising environment for United States investors to make investments in this country. And conversely, I think it's just as strong in the United States for the next 2 to 3, maybe hopefully 4 years. So with wonderful opportunities to grow their economic relationship. We're proud of the impact that we as a country have had here in the Czech Republic. I can't go back to 1918 at the time of the formation of the Czech Republic, but I can tell you since 2003, that is within the last 25 years, American companies have invested over $7 billion here in the Czech Republic. And we think they've estimated that it's resulted in over 50,000 jobs here in the Czech This new flight service, which brings the world's largest airline, as both Tim and Roberto have noted, will further enhance the strong business relationship between the United States and the Czech Republic. Not only will this bring new service jobs, of course, but it will also facilitate visitors, tourists, between our two countries. And certainly many tourists will begin to come to Prague and the Czech Republic by virtue of this new service, but also business people will also now be coming back and forth between the two countries, seeking the opportunities that we know are between the two countries that now exist. It'll also help the business leaders discover the obvious investment opportunities here. My only regret, as I mentioned to Tom earlier, is that the service doesn't go into effect till early May. I'll be actually traveling from the airport tomorrow to Washington, D.C. And it would be nice, if you're familiar at all, you know that Dulles Airport outside Washington is at least a 45-hour drive into Washington, D.C. I made the drive from Philadelphia to Washington, so if the service were in place today, I'd be flying American to Washington, to Philadelphia, and driving to Washington, D.C. So by increasing trade and investment between the U.S. and the Czech Republic, we promote greater prosperity between the two countries, and I think that's what, again, very important to me. We see the results of this partnership virtually every day, and we hope that, of course, the commitment on the part of U.S. companies and Czech companies to invest in each other's economies continues. Thank you again for the opportunity for being here. My congratulations to both American Airlines and the Václav Havel Airport. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency. It's my great honor to be here and to welcome you on behalf of the Czech Tourism Authority, CzechTourism, and Allowance Organization of Ministry of Regional Development at this press conference. I am really happy that the American Airlines decided to operate a direct flight connection between Prague and Philadelphia. And I am really happy that this launch of the new operation will occur in May of this year, because this year we will celebrate 100 years of the independent Czechoslovak state, and actually Philadelphia is very strong connected with the beginning and establishing of the former Czechoslovakia, and with the name of the first Czechoslovak president of Thomas Garrick Masaryk. So it's almost a symbolic act of the mutual relationship and the strong history, strong base we can develop in the future. So the strong connection between both countries and both cities can be now further developed with a direct flight connection, more investment, more tourist flows in incoming tourism. Actually, the year 2018 is for the Czech Republic and for the Czech tourism especially the year to celebrate these 100 years, to launch campaigns, to point out the important milestones from the last 100 years, to develop and show and promote new destinations in the Czech Republic. And this is something what's the business and job of the representative office of the Czech tourism in New York. So not only general campaigns, but also campaigns focusing on this 100 years and showing iconic products, iconic industry fields, iconic destinations in the Czech Republic, design, architecture of the period of the so-called First Republic will be the topic and the content we would like to show to the American audience to attract them not only to Prague but also outside Prague. Besides promoting the new route in the context of this main communication topic to our trade partners in America and of course in the Czech Republic as well. We are strongly focusing on partnership with media representatives and with new traditional media representatives. So that's why we are organizing two very important events in the Czech Republic for American, but not only for American audience. The first one is the conference of Western Chapter of Society of American Travelers Writers. This will be actually in May also. These writers will come to the South Moravia and will enjoy the hospitality and so on. So this will be something to support and help with promotion of the direct flight connection. Is I would say even more important is T-Bags travel blog exchange, which will be in Ostrava. This is actually the biggest conference of bloggers and vloggers coming from the America to the Czech Republic, and we would like to have more than 200 million impressions, more than 20,000 messages, and this will be something what we can very good use also for promoting the Czech Republic as the tourist destination in United States. Recently, I would like to mention the project Touchpoint, which is organized together with Airport Prague and CzechTourism, of course, and Prague municipality and Central Bohemian government. This project is focusing on the, let's say, promoting regions, promoting Prague, but we would like to spread the tourist demand, the foreign tourist demand outside Prague. So with cooperations and regional governments, not only in Central Bohemia, we would like to achieve this aim. But back to the American market, because it's really one of the most important markets, not only for the Czech tourism, but for the Czech Republic. To be honest, it's not the most dynamic market, but on the other hand, it's the market which is very stable and very continuously growing in the past decades. We can record more than 500,000 American travelers going to the Czech Republic, spending here 1.3 million nights. So that's why for the Czech Republic market number 5, respectively number 4 in terms of nights spent in collective accommodation facilities. For Prague, it's even more important, it's number 2. Not only the quantity of American travelers, it's important for us, but also the average spending. And I have to emphasize that the American travelers spent almost double than is the incoming average for the Czech Republic. That means 4,700 Czech crowns per tourist per day. What's actually a very important fact now is that almost 90% of American travelers come to Prague, and that's something what we would like to change and show also other places, other destinations in the Czech Republic. So I hope the direct flight connection will help us in this effort, and we can really use very good perception of the Czech Republic among the American tourists, because the Czech Republic is perceived very positively. It's perceived as the country with many historical attractions, very safe country, secure country, and that's something what's actually our asset for the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, I would like to thank all the partners who made this new route a reality, and we look forward for working with you on making the Philadelphia-Prague connection a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time this morning and for choosing to spend your Friday morning with us to celebrate our new route to Philadelphia. We now have some time for questions, or if you like one-to-one interviews with any of the speakers, please let us know, and then we will have lunch just across the hallway in the other restaurant. So raise your hand if you have a question, and I can pass you on. Anything?
Hello, my name is Tisková from CzechTourism. My question is regarding the seasonality of the route. Do you have any plans to convert the route for all year operation, or do you want to see the performance of the route first year and then you will decide?
Thanks for the question. Always a good question. It's a new route for us. We're really excited to make it very successful. As is typical for us, we're going to do our best to make it a success this first season, and if we are successful, we'll look to make it longer or year-round. A good example, I think, that I could give you is our service to Rome that we started 2 years ago, and it was so successful the first year that we extended the season by an additional 2 months. So hopefully we have the same success here in Prague, and we're going to do everything we can. Like Roberto said, we hope to see you all on one of our flights. We've got lots of good fares out in the market, so we're really excited about making it a success and hopefully get it to be a year-round service.
Hello, I'm Jacob from Linky. I just want to ask about the wireless connection. What you can charge for it? What's going to be the fee?
Yeah, Wi-Fi, I believe our price is $19 on a flight. We also offer hourly rates, I think a couple options there, but $19 per flight. I'm not exactly sure what that equates to in Czech krona, but it's, anybody know? 400.
Any other questions? No? Okay, perfect. If you would like a one-to-one with Tom or Roberto or any of the speakers, please let us know. We can set that up for you. Thank you very much.